Dion grab? No, no grab
Okay,
from
I
me.
think we are live.
Um, all right, ladies and gentlemen. Um,
Okay. You there? Let's see. Let's go to my channel. I think we're live. Looks good. Cinema mode. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Just playing. Cool. It's way too loud. Default view. Camera's a little bit blurry. I don't like that. It's on the blur itself. You can already see that. Not sure why it's so bad. Open new tab. Okay. Where's Restream? Test one, and then let's do test number two. Looks pretty good in X, which is nice, but YouTube is rendering pretty bad. Let's see, repost. All right. What news do we have today? Let's look at the VIX real quick. Did it spike up again or not? We are currently at 26, falling flat. That's good. Any news about Trump? Any news? Oil's definitely not going to 120. It's down below $91, which is great. Yeah, I mean, we're not falling apart. The market is not in trouble. So let's do a little test too for the audio. I think it's working fine. Yeah, it's all coming in there perfect so I can see it. I wish I could move that over to the other side though. It's kind of annoying. Can I redesign that? Portrait, landscape, settings. No, it's not going to be it. That's fine. That's fine. Just leave it where it is. Okay. I called you in Discord. You're not there. See, you picked up. Cooking dinner. Nice. Looking at the market, a little midday recap, see where we are. Try and see if there's any short-term swings or dips for this week. Plays. See, Hims has cooked well for 40% increase. I still have 30 shares, but I bought them relatively high. But on the daily, like if it recovers that there, if it goes back up below that moving average, you should see it really push on, to be honest. Unless sellers will step in, but we'll see. Can you hear me? Is it working? Should be working. Should be fine. Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm just looking at some individual charts, stocks, the news, seeing if Trump's about to do anything midday here. I'd expect him to do something midday. It's kind of been pretty quiet from him and his administration. So, but nothing on Seeking Alpha news really that can be hugely concerning. It looks like just the market is cooled down a little bit. Not a huge worry about oil. I see Joby and Archer Aviation, DOT air taxi pilot program. So yeah, you could see moves within like that sector. I know you like it. Let's look at Joby real quick. $9.65. What is the market cap of this guy again? 9.5 billion. I mean, that's fairly sizable, right? It's not cheap, really. Be nice if it was less than that. But who cares? Like, buy and hold this for a few years, maybe. Let me see if I can pull up. Let's see, where is it? This is a tool that someone else made. I want to see if I can pull up Joby. Current price, estimated fair value is $10, so about 10% upside when it comes to basic analysis of Joby. Yeah, I saw he was talking at 5:30, but I was thinking he might, you know, leak a little bit of stuff earlier than that. I will not be live for that. It's funny, he's not even on the docket there. Usually they add that. Must be in the White House docket. But yeah, Joby's pricey there. I don't like that. And their earnings are kind of unpredictable. Net income's low, very low. Q4 25. But your Mag 7 had a good day. Well, an interesting day, sorry. Nvidia recovered well. I was looking at Nvidia. Almost decided to buy Nvidia today. But it's just range bound. Everything's just so freaking range bound. Look at this. 6-month sideways chop. I mean, wouldn't put it past it to do this for another month or two, right? So not sure I want to just put capital there for no reason, really. It's really from here, like, what's that? July of last year, it's just been stuck in this square, and it hasn't tested those highs for a while. November. No, I'm still looking at rare earths. Haven't bought them yet. No rush. Like, there's no rush. Things are cooling down. Oil's, taking this central stage here. I'd like to buy it down a little bit. I'd like to get it closer to that cross right there, $8. Under $9 would be better. So that's what I'm looking at there. I mean, on the weekly as well, it's still pretty expensive. So if it comes down and retests that moving average on the weekly, maybe I'll buy it. At that point, it looks like a better buy, but it's just chopping there. UAM wise, yeah. It's on the list. On the list. I could potentially buy some. Let me look at the portfolio real quick. It's not going to leave the station soon. Your arson parsnips. How do I turn this on to like streamer mode? If I pull up my legend settings, classic, yeah. I don't want to privacy mode. There we go. Click that thing. What's that do? That hides your number. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah. Robinhood privacy mode is pretty cool. In case you want to make a live trade, that's nice. I can pull that back over then. So, and the old Robinhood. This is just the Freedom Invest portfolio. I like to keep it a little bit private. Um, is that right? Is it antimony? Who controls it? Who supplies it? Tin, lead, germanium. Interesting. Uses. It's a metalloid. Plastics, textiles. I mean, obviously it's important, yeah, but like. China. 40%. Yeah, it's critical. You're right. I mean, you're not wrong. Like, I wouldn't say you're wrong, but I'd like to buy a little bit cheaper. Definitely one to watch. Keeping it on the list for sure to buy it. But what else are we looking at? Enjoy your dinner. I'm just going to look at some stuff and see what's going on. VIX is doing well, isn't it? 26 and falling. I was hoping it would have been 30 or higher, closer to 40, but never did that. UAMY. Let me look at it. This PE ratio is negative 25. How bad is that? See what Gem has to say. No, I don't need to go live, Gemini. Why can't you just like do voice to text? PE ratio. Yeah, net margin of negative 15.5. High valuation relative to losses. It's not profitable, yeah. Forward PE, yeah, more important, of course. Next 12 months, NTM 54. There it is. Interesting, yeah. Large market cap, well, large-ish. That's pretty cool. Gemini's taking that. What are similar companies? Industry, rare earths, MP, of course, market caps. Who's the big players? Really? Four P. Wow, MP's 4P is so high, like. There's just so many metal companies. How do you know which one's going to like really take off? That's my problem. Last 5 days of the VIX. Crazy how we're back at Friday's levels. We're going to close below Friday's. That's wild. Yeah. Bitcoin's doing its thing. 68,000. Just chilling. Don't like you turn yourself off. Come on, keep playing. Why are you doing that? Okay, pause that. I wonder if we can get anything on the CNBC to review. CNBC. Let's go to YouTube actually. Oh yeah, Fear and Greed. Want to check that real quick? We're 25, 24. See if we're still in extreme fear. Yeah, we're still in extreme fear. See how long we hang out there for, maybe a few days, but yeah. Got to react to a few of these videos. See what we got.
I'll try again with our Brian Sullivan, talk some crude. Hey, Brian.
Hey, I think you guys can hear me now. No one's ever said they couldn't hear me, by the way, Carl, to your point. So there you go. Listen, I think Jim's point exactly is spot on. Look at crude oil. It's up 9.5%, but it's not at $125 a barrel. You got Exxon up 0.5%, Chevron up 1/4 of 1%. You guys were talking about it. The markets, yeah, they're down a bit, but they're not collapsing. This is a huge difference from what we had last night. Jim was talking about waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and checking the SPYs. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning just in a cold sweat, wondering where oil was going to go. I think a lot of this, I'd love to hear your guys' take, is options positioning. A lot of people, myself included, kind of caught out, not in a trading way, don't take any positions, but thinking that this would be maybe over or less severe 1 week out than it turned out to be. The Wall Street Journal headline, Iran, by the way, appointing Khamenei's son, kind of taking that hard line tone, fight to the end tone. And I think that caught a lot of people on the oil positioning out short, literally, where they had to cover last night. That set the biggest single day oil percentage gain in history. What we were up 30, 35% at one time. We're still up 10% right now at exactly 100 a barrel. Not saying that's good, but relative to where we were last night, it's not bad. One thing I want to note, when you look at an Exxon, when you look at a Chevron, when you look at a Marathon, some of these other names, they're at or even above the average analyst price target, guys. You look at ExxonMobil, it's actually a couple % above where Wall Street, as a consensus, there you go, says it should be. A Halliburton is still a bit under, but I do wonder if these stocks aren't responding because the trading desk, Jim, are kind of like, well, yeah, this is kind of where our analyst says the price should be, and the stock is, so they might have to raise it up or not. We'll see if the analyst community makes a change. Just one thing, we've seen production cuts or shifts, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, UAE, Kuwait, and I want to be very clear on these Saudi headlines. So a lot of Saudi headlines going around. I don't want to say they're wrong, but they're confusing. You'll hear the term Saudis cutting production. My sources will tell me they're shifting production to different fields. Number one, yeah, drone attacks, but number two, to a different pipeline. It's not a cut per se as much of a shift. I know that's verbal semantics or verbal gymnastics, guys, but it does matter when you're counting the barrel.
First, Brian, you've been unbelievable. This is the best guy we have. Let me ask you, when you attacked the desalination plants and when Israel attacked an oil facility, isn't that the kind of escalation that we really can't control right now?
Yeah, I think you're right, Jim. Listen, you made the point near the top of the show that you can't control the outcome. And I think that's where we are. I think, once you start a fight, you don't know how it's going to end. And I think there was, and I'm guilty of this, by the way, sort of an idea that Iran might take a little bit of a softer tone, that maybe this appointment of a new supreme leader by the Assembly of Experts might be somebody that wasn't pro-West. They don't have to say they like us, but would be less adversarial. With the installation of Khamenei's son, it looks like it's different. I'm not getting into Iranian politics, but my point, Jim, I think to your point, is that the outcome here is uncertain. And when you've got Iranian drones and missiles and whatever it is hitting Bahraini refinery plants and Qatari energy plants, things spiral.
Yeah, so oil just chilling, doing its thing, nothing really moving. We were up, now we're down, and the markets don't really seem to care. Yeah, it's an interesting take, isn't it? It's like, could this be just temporary, you know? Or will we see it go a bit higher? Let's give this one a go.
Well, now to the broader market, as stocks do get hit hard to start the week. Let's bring in Lori Calvasina, RBC Capital Markets Head of U.S. Equity Strategy. Lori, good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
So I assume and know you've been stress testing your kind of fundamental view and general market take for $100 oil, how long it lasts. What do you get when you do that?
So we have 5 different models that go into our year-end forecast, sort of process, or 12-month forward process. And we took one of those models, our valuation earnings test. This is the easiest one to kind of run through the scenario on. So for the earnings assumptions, I went back to 2022 and 2015-16. 15-16 was flat earnings. 2022 was 5% earnings growth. So we took those 2 numbers for earnings. Then we went to our PE assumption, and we baked in 3.6% headline inflation, which our economists have done their own stress tests on $100 oil, and that was one of their outputs for 4Q. So we threw that in. I added in 4.5% on 10-year Treasury yields, honestly, just to put some stress in the model, and I left the Fed flat because I didn't feel like that was really in the zeitgeist at the moment. And what I came up with was basically 6,600 to 6,900 is fair value, which is kind of this range we've been stuck in. So the idea that we may be baking in some stagflationary impact, you can make a reasonable argument that it's there. Now, if you want to take the bear side on my model, that was my strongest model. It had been forecasting over 8,000 over the next 12 months. So you lop 1,000 points off of that. That doesn't feel so good, but it does give you some comfort when you can run through the numbers, at least that we have a decent starting point.
And then in terms of, I guess, more the tactical picture, it's kind of interesting. A lot of commentary this morning saying, well, look, the market doesn't quite look very washed out. You could look at, people are paying up for downside protection, there's no doubt, but maybe not at extremes. You have seen, sort of the market get oversold at an index level, but not the average stock, because the market's been trying to escape through rotation. So where does that bring you in terms of whether we've done enough? Because, the PE forward PE has come down 2 points since October.
Yeah, when we just look at the bottom-up forward PE, we're down to 23 times, and I forget how high we were. I think it was maybe close to 30. It was 25 a few weeks ago. What we saw in 2022 was that version of PE went down to the long-term average, and that helped mark the low in the bottom of the market. That average right now is about 18.5 times, so there's still some wood to chop there. I like the Russell 2000 better as a broader barometer for these kinds of stress periods. If you look at 2022, 2023, and then 2025, the big drawdowns we had those years, small caps started baking in a recession. In 2025, around the tariffs, we got to 12.65 times, and 11, 13 times is recession pricing. Small caps are down to 16.1, the average is 15.2, so again, a little bit more wood to chop. If you look at how quickly small caps are getting hit, that's probably going to be the better barometer to help us gauge a bottom here.
What is the history of oil spikes and shocks like this on corporate earnings? How long does it last? How big of an impact?
It's a great question. I don't have that answer off the top of my head, but we did go back and look at the post-COVID environment, and we found a minus 40% inverse correlation between stocks and the oil price, and that was much more powerful than what I would have thought. I mean, it's not 100% correlation, but it is pretty meaningful. And we did a sector study or an industry group study, and it's funny, the only industry that tends to rise in the post-COVID environment and outperform the market is energy. So you don't get a lot of help. What you're looking at in the rest of the market is sort of degrees of underperformance, and so you can find areas, like healthcare, both the pharma side and the healthcare equipment and services side, not really direct impacts to earnings, and you do see some resilience in those stock prices if you look at
But is it all just near term based on the oil price move, or does it matter how long this lasts?
I think it matters how long it lasts. I will tell you, Sarah, I went to my analysts last Tuesday and Wednesday, and I gave them a survey. And I know they were thrilled with me that I give them a survey in the middle of everything that's going on, but they did all fill it out, and they filled it out pretty fast. I went back to them at the end of the week to reconfirm their results, and we said gauge the impact to earnings, gauge the impact to direct revenue exposure from the Middle East, and gauge the knock-on effect impacts, from this conflict. And we said specifically assume oil goes to $100 or more for an extended period of time, and this conflict lasts more than 4 weeks. And so those were the parameters we gave them.
Yeah, those are the 2 big things: extended time frame and price of oil for a long time.
Financials, utilities, and communication services.
4 weeks or more.
There are some decent pockets of resiliency, even if we start to bake in worst case scenarios.
Yeah, it could take a while. Like, it's not going to be a sure thing. This war could be over tomorrow, today, this week. Trump's speaking tonight, so maybe he declares victory and he declares our, agenda has been fulfilled. We have removed the Ayatollah. Of course, the sunrise is taken over, so that's not really a victory, so to speak. It's kind of like a bit of a wash, so I'm not sure we can claim that as a victory. What else is going on today that we see online? This is pretty interesting here. Building your own cybercab fleet. The math behind this is pretty phenomenal. pre-tax cash flow could generate, how large could it be in 3 years? Conservative assumptions, 303 vehicles. That's crazy. I mean, I would love to have a fleet of cybercabs. That would be incredible. Oh my gosh. But anyway, skim this, read it, and you'll see it kind of breaks down what it looks like to start your own robotaxi network. And you better believe there's a lot of millionaires and billionaires that will already kind of do this. But there's the math behind it, the variables. Average speed of trip, 5 miles length. FSD subscription, $3 a month. Vehicle utilization 30%, it's pretty low. Base fare price per mile, so $6. Interesting. You finance them at $6,000. Pretty crazy how you got that math. Where is it? Towards the bottom. Here it is. After the first year, your cash flow is $4,713 per month, but by the end of 2 years, $35,000 per month is your cash flow. That's insane. And then $250,000 per month, year 3. That's just incredible. Good luck to anyone who actually seeks to do this and actually buys a bunch of cybercabs. Yeah, if you increase that base fare, because that's what happened in Texas, you then get a lot more return for sure. $46 million per month in the net cash flow for just 3 years. That's ridiculous. Yeah, is that even possible, do you think? Yeah. Yeah. What's this one? Can you make? That's funny. A new asset class, interesting. $30,000 for a cybercab, that's crazy, isn't it? Hmm. So anyway, that's the news on that. Cybercabs are coming, and we'll see who and how many people buy to put on the roads so you can drive them. This was last night, 20 hours ago. 2% US 30, 500, 2%. And we're going to finish today probably green, which is just like makes no sense, The VGT is actually green. The VIE is what? 30% off from being green for the day, which is rather crazy, isn't it? It's just like we were down here 609, now we're back 616. I did nibble the VTI today. 20 shares, I think it was, I bought. Which is, it is what it is, right? The big winners today, though, I'm not sure I can say oil's a winner, but it's under $100 there, $99. I should probably draw the line. Where is it? $100. Right there. No, don't move. There is your $100 trend line right there. Bitcoin having a rally, but I think it's a fake out. It's not over. There's still more and more problems for Bitcoin. I would not be rushing in to buy Bitcoin. Maybe dollar cost average in and buy a little bit, but I would not be going crazy on it. Silver, momentum. Again, we're just chopping really since July of last year. That's crazy. August, September months, just nothing happened. Half a year just stagnating along, stagflation along. Now, where is our opportunity? Service now is down $2. What happened there? It's funny because it was like up today, then it's down today. It's like, what's changed? Nothing really. 124, 121. It's nothing. It's just chopping sideways. Oracle, IBM, Salesforce is chopping around a wee bit. Today's close will be very interesting. How do we close today? Will, I think, dictate quite a bit. And then Trump's going to be speaking, of course. Why are you up 4%? MP's up 1%. Bloom's had a hell of a day. 10%. It was even higher than that. Although it's still really expensive, it's still like quite drastically overpriced in a way. I would like for it to come down and test this moving average again and then maybe nibble, but still a little bit high. Don't want to be foaming in too late on that one. Nebius is up 3%. Likewise, Nebius is one we really like. It's definitely been chopping here lower. I don't like seeing this low, these lower highs. And these lower lows as well. But yeah, who knows where that's going to go. Nebius is a great company and earnings are great. So honestly, today could even be conviction is high. I like that company a lot. Anything in the 80s is good, really, isn't it? The weekly, you might not get it that low though. It's too popular. You might get it there, $81. If it pulls back a little bit. Iran had a really good day because their CEO came out and said their dilution plans are, in his opinion, a nothing burger. There's not going to be a big dilution. It's just an option for them for the future, but he basically laughed it off and said, look, don't worry about it. So I hope we can trust him. We'll see. NVIDIA 180, again, range bound, going nowhere for months. It's just been, honestly, this is dead stock capital, right? People might have bought here or here, and it's just for months been chopping along doing nothing. Back to the 5-year chart. 2024 really was the last time it kind of chopped for a year. Wow, yeah. June of 24 all the way to like, let's see, June of 25. Where's June 25? That's wild for a whole year. Just chopped sideways around that 140, fell to 95 during Tarmageddon, and then it bloomed up from 140 to 180. Now it's chopping again. It's just that big. It just chops, but it hasn't had a measure move, so to speak. Had one here. What was that? Increase, 85% increase. And this one, we'll take that from probably, well, it has to be like here then, I suppose. Another 85% move. That's funny. Both 85% move. So if we get another 85% move, which honestly would be insane, where's that put our stock at? Well, let's just go a little bit more. 84, 85. Come on. That'll do 330. That would be insane. I don't know if it could go to 330 soon, but I mean, how long is it going to chop sideways for? This is literally close, like, what, 8 months, 9 months now it's been chopping sideways. Yeah, almost a year of chop. So at some point it has to re-rate higher or go lower. Maybe it gets this little test. Maybe we get a catalyst and we come out of it. Whenever this Iran war can be the catalyst to cause it to re-rate higher. But when I look at this is what I can see on the weekly time frame. I want to say the consolidation is here. It's kind of like this box. And that's a box. And there's another box right there where it chopped sideways right here on the weekly. So let me look at the monthly real quick. It's a big drop there in January, yeah. Get you mice and go back and buying it here, my gosh. The problem though with Nvidia is just so big, and a lot of their future growth's been priced in. The market's struggling to really believe that they're going to keep putting up these incredible numbers in their quarters to come. Robinhood, what are you doing? You've had a terrible few months because of Bitcoin. Are you going lower? Are we going to get a green month? Is the bottom in? I don't think the bottom's in on Bitcoin, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be buying this. I would love to buy more Robinhood, but I don't want to be FOMOing in too early. Especially because the most recent product was just a credit card. But yeah, they're very much tied to Bitcoin and what Bitcoin's doing in the near term. Cost goes up, Pepsi is up, your defensive plays are up, QQQ is barely up, barely. Walmart is basically flat, and then it's interesting seeing SAS get hit today. Is money leaving there because they're no longer scared? It's interesting. SoFi, what are you doing, SoFi? Where are you gonna go? Because you've done nothing for likewise a year, like insane time to be alive. It's crazy to me because we had this. I got involved in SoFi at probably this point right here, this rally. So October 24, great time, loved it, saw great returns, and then we got rugged into the first 7 months of 25, and then we had a nice re-rate higher. Things are great, and then for whatever reason, SoFi gets thrown onto the bus. And I don't believe it's in any way close to being dead. We get 70%, 77% increase to get back up to all-time highs, 80%. It's doable because SoFi is a great company, and I don't think it's going anywhere yet. I think it's very, very reliable, very, very needed. I like it. Big support online. Let's see what else is going on. Oscar is currently down a little bit, but it's doing its thing, you know. I bought Oscar. When would I buy it? Probably here. I think it was this candle wick right here, September 24. Actually, no, it would have been June of 25, I think. That makes more sense. So I'm a little disappointed. I'd like to see Oscar do more. Their CEO is awesome. I believe in their mission. But we'll see how Oscar performs. Rocket Lab's down, Zeta is down, Path is down a little bit. I do like Path. I think Path's got incredible upside potential. Analysts already think so too. Yeah, $16. Envia's Amcor is down a little bit. Palantir's barely down. All in all, the market is just not doing a lot right now. It's just sort of like chilling, which is concerning. It's almost like we're waiting to see what Iran and America and Trump do and Israel does until we know exactly what's happening. Are we going to be in like a longer war? Is this going to last a few weeks? Will oil prices go higher? Is the market getting caught up in hopium, thinking the worst case is over, or is it going to get worse? So I think that's what we're looking at right now. The VIX is now at 26. Not quite a low of the day. 26.3 is the low of the day. 26.4. Big drop. Is that a big drop coming today there now? It is a fairly big drop. Is there some news? Some breaking news somewhere? Huh. It's a pretty big drop just to go from 27 to 26. It's weird. Do we have any sort of news anywhere? Time is it? It's 3:20. I do often see that. What else we got going on here? Yep. Fund strats marking you and expecting a sharp decline coming this March in the markets. It's not even a day ago, so keep an eye on that one. This isn't seeing like. Imagine this thing blowing up. Can you imagine that? That's your city, your town, and like you look out the window. That's what you see. Crazy, right? Yeah, this was intense to see. Yeah, that was insane. So there you go. We are chilling. Why is he shooting his lawnmower with turn around? Let's require your legs. What are you doing? I have to see what happens. Oh, it's yikes. That wasn't good. What is that? Yeah. Bad idea, bro. Bad idea. This is so cool. Yeah, I want that. Buys prediction markets. Under 3 cents turns 1,000 in 90. That can't be true. Like this stuff here. Total traded. It's kind of wild, isn't it? Let's just go right to the comment section. Yeah. Clickbait. So I say to that, clickbait. Wow. That's crazy. Breaking news. Infidels. Wow, yeah, that's crazy. Duolingo. That's what I've been meaning to look at for a while. The good old Duolingo. Are you set for a move? $9. What was the bottom? Is this the bottom? No, well, it did that, didn't it? Did that, dropped. Did this and dropped. The drop down has been literally ridiculous, though. Look at that, 81%. What did the post say? Oh, yeah. How much has to go up? Yeah, yikes. Yeah, no, thank you. Figma, PGY, MSCR, Trade Desk, HIMS. I bought 2 of those, right? Figma sold it for a win, actually, because I got the IPO. PGY currently holding 100 shares of that, down about 20%. And then MSTR got like 3 shares. Oh, and HIMS too. Okay, well, that's where we are. We shall let it be, let the market do its thing. Oh, poor guy, yeah. Interesting, yeah. I'm not sure about the HIMS thesis. I'll probably try and offload my shares eventually. It's possible, yeah. It's possible for HIMS to catch a bid. It's done it before in its past, so